Have you ever had to rename tens of thousands of files? Smart Bulk Renamer can help. It is a web app I built that lets you bulk rename your files from Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive, or even your local disk. I will share the link to the app in the description below. You might be wondering how you can trust the tool with access to your files. Rest assured, none of your data leaves the browser. Plus, to access Google Drive files as a third party, Smart Bulk Renamer has passed a security assessment performed by Tax Security, one of the Google authorized labs. You can check their report if you are interested. Renaming is a quick 3-step process. Pick your files, apply the rules and preview the changes, and then rename. When renaming cloud files, instead of picking multiple files, it is recommended to pick folders. This reduces the number of API calls needed to fetch files, which speeds up the process. When you pick a folder, all the files inside, including those in the nested folders, will be listed for renaming. Smart Bulk Renamer comes with 9 different renaming types. I will walk you through each one by renaming files from my Google Drive. Before that, I will go over 3 features that are common to most of the renaming types. You can click the plus icon in any text box to insert metadata into the file names. The availability of certain metadata depends on the file source. Some metadata comes with extra formatting options. You can insert file size in 3 different formats and time data in 12 different ways. Now let's see how metadata insertion works. To replace DSC underscore in the file names with their size, all I need to do is type DSC underscore in the query text box. Then select size using the plus icon in the replace with text box. To delete inserted metadata, just press the backspace key once. When preserve extension option is enabled, the file extensions remain unchanged by the renaming rules. Let me explain with an example. Normally, you would expect this rule to change JPG in the file names to JPEG. But since the preserve extension option is enabled, that doesn't happen. To allow the change, simply uncheck preserve extension. Renaming rules are typically applied to all files within the selected folder. The ignore files inside nested folders option lets you rename only the files directly inside the selected folder. For example, when I check this option, you will see that only the files directly inside my wedding are being renamed. Now let me show you how each renaming type works. I have set up folders on my Google Drive for each type, and we will be renaming the files in these folders. All folders have the same structure and number of files. First, we need to authorize Smart Bulk Renamer to access my Google Drive files. This process is the same for other cloud services. With Find and Replace, you search for specific text and replace it with something else. You can also use regular expressions to make more advanced queries. I will show you examples of both standard and regular expression queries. First, let's see how a standard query replacement works. I will pick the test folder from Google Drive. Now, to replace DSC with wedding in the file names, we will type DSC in the query box and wedding in the replace with box. Then click the rename files button. After that, confirm the action by selecting yes in the warning alert to start the renaming process. Let's check the file names on Google Drive. The files have been renamed correctly. Now let's see how a regular expression query works. First, we will select the test folder from Google Drive. Regular expressions are a powerful tool for searching patterns in text, allowing you to perform more complex searches. For example, let's replace all the numbers in our file names with the photo capture time. Here, the \d matches each digit in the file names. When we check query is a regular expression, each digit in the file names will be replaced by the date and time. Now, when we add the plus quantifier, one or more consecutive digits are matched, and all 4 digits will be replaced by a single date and time. Let's rename the files and check the changes on Google Drive. To rename your files into a numbered sequence, select Sequence Renaming. After sequence renaming, your file names will follow a specific numerical order. You can set the starting number, the increment value, and the number of digits in the sequence. You can also add a prefix, suffix, or both. You can group the file name sequence by the parent folder or content type. I will show examples of both. First, I will pick the test folder from Google Drive to show you how sequence renaming works without grouping. Now, let me select sequence from the type dropdown and see what happens. As you can see in the rename preview, the files will be renamed from 1 to 8, starting at 1 and incrementing by 1. Let's rename them and check the changes on Google Drive. When you group the sequence by content type, each file type gets its own sequence. Let me pick the test folder from Google Drive to show you how it works. As you can see in the rename preview, JPEG and PDF files each have their own sequence. Let's rename them and check the changes on Google Drive. Now, let's pick the test folder from Google Drive to demonstrate parent folder grouping. When you group the sequence by parent folder, the sequence restarts in each folder. You can see that each folder has its own sequence. Setting the start at and increase by fields to 2 changes the starting number to 2 and each subsequent number increases by 2. The compose type lets you construct file names from scratch. Let me show you how with a test folder. After selecting compose, the file names will only show their extension. You can add metadata to create a new name for each file. In this example, we will use the file sizes as their new names. Let's rename the files and check the changes on Google Drive. You can add a prefix to file names using the add prefix type. Let me show you how. Here, we will add the camera model at the beginning of the file names. You can add any metadata or text as a prefix in the same way. Let's verify the changes on Google Drive. Add suffix type lets you add a suffix to file names. Let me show you with an example. Let's add the image dimensions at the end of the file names. In the same way, you can add any text as a suffix. Let's rename the files and check the changes on Google Drive. With the insert type, you can add metadata or text at a specific portion in the file names. Let's see how. By default, the input text is added at position 1, which is the beginning of the file names. You can change this by selecting N under the Count From dropdown, which counts position from the end and adds the text at the end of the file names. To insert the text heading between DSC and the numbers, we need to adjust the @index value. Setting it to 5 does the trick. Let's verify the changes on Google Drive. The remove type lets you delete a specific number of characters from a set position in your file names. Let's pick the test folder from Google Drive to check how it works. Let's remove DSC underscore from the file names. To do this, we need to remove 4 characters starting from position 1. Just like with the insert type, you can count the position from either the start or the end. If we change the starting position, the 4 characters removed will be different. Let's verify the changes on Google Drive. With the change case type, you can modify the case of the file name, the extension, or both. Let's check how it works. Here, let's convert both the file name and the extension to lowercase. Let's rename the files and check the changes on Google Drive. The set extension type lets you assign a new extension to your file names. Let's see how it works. When you select the set extension type, the file extensions are removed. You will need to assign a new extension to the file names. Let's input JPEG in the extension box. There is also an option to add extensions only to the files that already have one. When we disable that option, you will see the extension is added to the file checklist, which didn't previously have one. Let's verify the changes on Google Drive. When renaming cloud files, if the selected folder contains more than 500 files, the tool will display only the first 500. You will see an alert when this happens, but rest assured, the renaming rules will be applied to all the files inside that folder. Let me show you an example for this one as well. Once the first 500 files are fetched, the listing stops and an alert is displayed. Let's rename the files and check the changes on Google Drive. As you can see, all 1000 files have been renamed. Now we have reached the end of the video. I hope you find the tool useful. I have also created other popular tools like Drive Explorer and YT Tracker. Visit syncwithtech.com to learn more about them. Thank you.